welcome to this new mod map tour on Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. Okay, so this is Green River 2019. I remember doing the review on this on FS17. It's a nice map. This is by Bart, NLD Community. It's that difficult situation, and I've said before, if you've played on a map for a long time, if you played on this on FS17, coming on to the 2019 version, you're either asking yourself, has a lot been changed, in which case it feels new, or do I want it to stay the same as it was because I like to play on it how it was before? So it's a bit of a dilemma, and I imagine it's a dilemma for the map maker as well. Now, if you're new to Farming Simulator 19 and the Farming Simulator franchise, you may never have seen this map at all before, in which case you've got no frame of reference. Now, we start on the map here, roughly central, but on the southern kind of part of the map, at one of the farms, which is just here. Now, a few things have changed. Obviously, there's the introduction of horses and various different things into the game that we didn't have before. Strangely, that being said, there's no stables on the map. We can also transport milk and things like that, which again, later on will bring me onto something which I think is a little bit odd. But that being said, I liked this map when I went around it the first time. It's clean, it's tidy, the details are really good. I like the bridges over the river, and it's a nice flat map. So this is one of those maps you can get away with smaller horsepower or lower horsepower tractors with slightly larger machinery, because sometimes you can, but when it's hilly it can be a bit iffy. This is a fairly flat map, so you can get away with it. There is some forestry available. There's a large forest down here, and there are some small bits of woodland kind of dotted around the map in different places. The second farm is on the right hand side of the river, and the main river, Green River, runs right down the middle, north to south, and there is another kind of farmyard just here. We've got a silo there, and there's also a silo at the farm we're going to have a look at in a moment. Those silos will hold everything: pig food, forage, wood chips, you name it, they'll hold everything. Which brings me on to, we'll have a look at just in a second, there are contracts available. Where are we? There we go. Which again, very, very good. Brings me on to the mod situation. The map maker has brought some mods into the game onto the map itself. So under farmhouses, there's one there that says mod. I assume they've modded themselves. A bit peculiar. It shows that picture, but it's a different building. Under sheds, we've got a few of their own modded ones here, which are dotted around the map. And then if we go up to, where are we, silos, we've got the silos that we have from them. There's a modded small bunker silo, but these are the two grain silos we get which are modded, which hold everything, and that's why they're modded versions of, and they're available on this map because that's what the map makers put in. Looking up top right hand corner, on New Farmer, which is what I'm on at the moment, we've already used 756 of 1299 slots, which if you're on console will only give you about 543 slots to play with. It's not a lot, especially if you're going to want to use class machinery, John Deere machinery, stuff with high slot counts. That could be an issue. If you come onto this on Farm Manager, you've already used 658 of 1299. Whilst it takes the machinery out, you do still start with all of the buildings, and the same is also on Start from Scratch. No machinery, but you do start with all the modded buildings. If you sell all of those buildings, it brings the slot count down to 608 of 1299. So it gives you 700 odd slots to play with then, which is still not a huge amount, but I think for what you got on the map, it's kind of what you kind of get used to, I guess, when you're playing on console. It's part and parcel. So what's next? Oh yes, I remember. Let's go back to the map. Field prices, etc. It's kind of a map overview. I always put map tour, but it's kind of map tour, map overview, the whole kind of thing. What do we start with on New Farmer? Well, you start with the farm area here in field 26, you start with the farm area here in field 21, and you start with the pig enclosure. Like I said, there's no horse enclosure, but we do have cows down here. We have chickens and pigs here, chickens and sheep here, and pigs there. Field prices do vary quite, I say wildly. 260,000 That's quite a big grass area, 489. The smaller ones, you're still looking at 192,000. There's another small one. Where was it? I'm trying to remember where it was. I did have a look earlier. I mean, yeah, field 7, 220. That's about the cheapest field you're going to get, really. What bothers me is the biogas plant thing. If you've watched any of my map tours, you'll know how I kind of feel about the biogas thing. If you want to do anything at the biogas plant and you need to own it, that's 1,843,000 to buy the biogas plant and the land around it. I don't know. I'm not going to go into it. You know, if you'd like to say, if you watched it before, you've watched any of my videos, you'll know my kind of feeling on that type of thing. So, let's get around the main farmyard, then let's get around the map. I will kind of jump around a little bit. This is your main farmhouse, and I think this is the one that comes up as farmhouse. If we go over to here and press L3, this is where you can sleep through the night. I'm not tired yet, so I'm okay. We're going to hop over the fence into the main farmyard. But the main farmyard does open onto the main road that runs north-south. Now, this is something else. This is important. This bit I'm going to show you now. Watch the beacon and watch the tree. That's important if you play on console, because that reflection, that reflector of the beacon revolving on FS19, and I might have even been on FS17 before that, on PC you get that reflective beacon, so when the beacons rotate it reflects off things around it, and we were told categorically that cannot happen on console. You will not get the beacons on the vehicles to have that reflection because of scripts and things like that. It can't happen. However, they've made it work here on that beacon, so if that can work, why can't it work on the vehicles? That's an interesting one, and I thought that's worth pointing out because I kind of saw it and thought, hang on a minute, I'm not used to seeing that. So there you go. I thought I'd throw that in. That's the main road that runs north-south, and then the river is just there running north-south. So into the farmyard we go. A lot of these sheds and buildings, like I said, that are modded ones that you start with. We've got a TX32 with header. We've got a couple of Fendt 511s or 515s. I think they're 511s. Yeah, 511s. We've got a small seeder. We've got your kind of basic setup of machinery that you often start with. Two Fendt 511s. We've got a Fiat 1300, the TX32. We do have a pickup, a small forklift trailer, the header, cultivator, seeder, weight, and then, like I say, then we move into the silos and all the buildings that you do start off with. So, all of these doors open and close, light switches dotted around the place. The animations are nice and smooth and just seems to work right, you know, for the type of building, and you know, they've got that spot on. So here at the main farm then, we have got the cow barn, which is here, which is also a modded one. Now these aren't removable. Your milk will be collected from here if you're going to do milk on this one. I think it might be the other end for the animals. But we've got a feed trough, water trough down this side. A small barn space there, slightly different buildings. Some of these look very familiar and are kind of similar to the ones that were on the FS17 version. Fuel tank just to the side there. Manure pit. We come around to this end and open it up. Might be this one actually. This way you can buy, sell, load or unload your cows into the cow pasture and they will come out here. Slurry pit is just here. The cows will be in the pasture there. So here's your main farm silo down at this farm, and this is one of the ones that holds everything, just tucked around here. I'm pretty sure on the FS17 version the sheep were here. So like I say, a few things have changed, not a huge amount. It does have a familiarity to it, but some things have been moved about. There are some new models, obviously new textures, shaders, all those kind of things that we get with FS19. A couple of bunker silos just here on the right, and we do have a little wash station just here for your vehicles with a working jet wash just there. What we're going to do now is grab the pickup, head up, and we're going to look at the other farm and the bits around the map. What I will do is skip ahead to certain bits, otherwise it's going to be a lot of me just driving along. So I think we'll do it in the pickup, it'll be a little bit quicker anyway. We'll open the gate here. Now, there is a water point just across the road here, out of the river. Now I backed a trailer up to test this, an animal trailer, a water tank, and I had to kind of back up almost the river, so I couldn't work out if it was filling from the river or from here. I think it's from here, but it is a water fill point should you want one, directly opposite the farm. I'm trying to look at my notes as well to make sure I don't miss anything off my notes. Contracts I've covered, beacon reflection, BGA, yep. Silos take everything, modded placeables, slot counts. Yeah, I think that's the main things off the start that I wanted to get in. As I always say when I do this, I'm sure I'm probably going to miss something. And I always urge people, if there's a new map out and they want to have a go on it, fine, it's great, watch a map tour, map review, but go and have a look on the map yourself, have a bit of a search around, a bit of a play with it and see the things you can find. One thing I loved on the previous version and still do are the bridges, the detail on the bridges over the river. It looks brilliant. I really do like it. Like I say, very flat. You look across the map, you've got that feeling straight away. So we're going to head up here to the farm on the right hand side of the road. The other main silo for the farm is just on the right hand side, and this is in an enclosure, which again, this is new, this wasn't on the original version. I'm just kind of in my head comparing what I remember. So there's your other silo. Again, that will take pretty much everything. Those gates open and close. Jump down, press circle, away you go. Into the main farm, or the second main farm, depending on how you look at it. Just here. We do have some more buildings, more barn space. I did check out these two silos over here on console because they both had seed and fertiliser down on the floor in front of them. I brought a trailer over. There's no trigger or anything for seed and fertiliser there. I thought I would check it just in case, but it wasn't. Just up to the north end of this other farmyard, we've got our chickens just here. Like I say, even if you go on any of the modes and you sell everything, these animal pens will stay here. The chicken one, the sheep one, the cow one, and the pigs across the way there, which we'll get to in a minute, they all stay there. Buying and selling of your chickens happens just there. Your egg pallets or egg boxes spawn there, and your food trough is just there. Sheep is over here. On the far left hand side is where you buy, sell, load or unload. In the hazard mark box just over there. Wool pallets spawn there, and then you've got your feed and water troughs just here. The gates do open into the pastures should you want to go in and out. And like I say, just over here is your buy, sell, load or unload point. What I'm going to do is whiz across the biogas plant. I'm just thinking the best route round so we take it all in, avoiding kind of going back over ourselves more times than we need to. This is another one of those maps, it has a nice feel to it. It's difficult to put your finger on why, it kind of has a, I don't know, it's not too overcrowded, it's got enough detail, enough stuff on there to make it have a nice realistic feel to it, but not too overcrowded. There aren't loads of fences and hedges, it's fairly flat, it's, you know, you could still get away with some fairly large machinery. Driving up some of these roads might be a little bit trickier, but you're not going to be encumbered by hedges and fences and things like that. So just off to the left here, we're heading towards the biogas plant, which, like I said earlier, it's expensive to buy. It's a big biogas plant, which is fine, but I don't know, just think if you're going to build up to doing that, that's a lot of money to try and get. I don't know. There you go, there's that reflection again, look. It's possible. Unless that's just a script that got by without anyone noticing, I don't know. 4 big bunker silos on the right hand side. Digester, sell point just on the left hand side. And our digestate tank, the byproducts you can collect from this tank here and this little spout. plenty of room for moving vehicles about, so if you're going to be using larger machinery and lorries and that kind of stuff, no worries getting in and out of here. I'll go back up the same way. Now off to the right there's a garden centre. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, on FS17 it was a sell point, but it's not now. There are a couple of things on here which I've been surprised about that I thought were going to be included. And that's just my own personal, that's not because I read it anywhere or anyone told me. I just thought from the previous version and now what's available and what you can do on console, I thought, and again that's my, you know, my error, not anyone else's. I'll explain those when we get to them. We'll cross over this little bridge here and come to the pig enclosure, which is really enclosed in fencing all the way around. There's no one way in, one way out on this one, or like one in, one out. It is one way in and out is what I meant to say. So you go up and around the back, and right over in that corner over there where the building is, that's where you load, unload, buy or sell your pigs. We've got one of the troughs just over here for your feed trough, but you can't then get back out around the building, so you have to turn around and come back out that way. This side is your water trough. The gate does open. You've got your manure pit and your slurry pit. Where's my slurry pit gone? Just over there. That I think is for your straw. Pretty sure it's for putting the bedding in. Just there, and like I say, another gate. But this one is separate to the other one. This is a separate enclosure. You can't get around the back of the pig building, pig shed, whatever you want to call it. Just there. So that's the pig pen, pig enclosure. Now if you do start on Farm Manager or start from scratch, you don't own these enclosures. You would have to buy the land to own them, but they are there. Little park on the right hand side and a bit of woodland. There's a little scrapyard just off to the right hand side. We're going to just drive past it now, and we're going to head round towards the spinnery and another one of the sell points. So we're now heading north, and we're going to head over east a little bit to the next sell point. There are more fields up to the north of us, spreading out all over the place. We'll have a whiz back down the other side of the map, the eastern side of the map. We'll drive past the big forest, go to the store of the sawmill, and then head around. I'll show you where we are on the map when we get there. But pulling in just here on the right hand side, we've got our spinnery on the right hand side just there. And this one here, Kraybacker Mill, but it says on the sell point list, where are we? So we've come up around here, past the pig pen, up around the top there, and we are now there. So that's Norden Agra. Regardless of what it says in the building, that's Norden Agra, that's the sell point for that. What we're going to do now, I'm going to drive round here, come all the way down the bottom, down the map, all the way down to there. We've got a large forest here, plenty of forestry. That's fairly pricey, 1.2 million to buy that, and the sawmill is right next to it, which is quite handy. So if you are going to do forestry in that big forested area, you're right next to the sawmill. You're not going to be transporting lumber too far. I know forestry logging is a bit of a Marmite thing on Farming Simulator. Some people love it, some people hate it. You know, it is what it is, and it's like everything else on any of the maps, any of the things that are available. You don't have to do it, you don't have to use it. It's there if you want to, but if you don't want to, it's not a problem. I'll see you down there in a moment. Okay, so we are now coming round down the eastern side, bottom of the map, or towards the bottom of the map. Big old forestry area off to the right hand side there. Various different trees laid out in various different ways. There's spiral patterns, there's long rows of trees. There's plenty of forestry to be getting on if you want to. A little bit further on we will come to the sawmill, which is coming up now, just on the left hand side. Again, I'm pretty sure this is where it was. I don't know if the buildings have changed. Some of the things seem to have changed a bit, although they're still in the same locations. There's been a bit of tweaking, a bit of changing. Your wood chip sell point's just there, and your lumber sell point is just around the back of the building. Just there. And then we will come to the store in a moment, which I think is pretty much in the same place too. I do like all the irrigation ditches and little channels and bridges and stuff all over the place. So, quick nip into here. Advertising the old John Deere Gator up the top there on the building. A few bits of machinery and trailers and stuff dotted about. You've got your buy point just over there. You've got your sell point, configuration point, repair point just over there. If you do reset anything for any reason, you put something into a ditch, a river on its roof and you can't get it up or something like that, vehicles reset to here, back to the store, not back to the farm. So this is your vehicle reset point as well as the store. And what we're going to do now is head across the other side of the river to the other sell points. There aren't that many left actually now. I think we've done most of them. There is another little bridge just here, which saves having to go up to the main road one. We'll cut across here. So, passing the farm on the right hand side where we started off. There's a turn in, it's a little kind of, it's not a bridge as such, but it goes over, there's like a little low-lying area of water. Nice bit of advertising there for Krona. Fuel station, just here on the left-hand side, and the next of our sell points coming up, just up here. Nice big old building. Right, so we have come across from the shop, across that little bridge there, round across there, past the gas station. We're now up here at Coroncel BV. We're going to come back down and across the bridge. We're going to head down to Greynex, just have a quick look down there. Then we're going to head up this side of the map, up to the animal dealership and the barn sell point. That's where we were at the biogas plant a little while ago, and I said the garden centre, that used to be, I'm sure there was a sell point there. I could have just been imagining it, but that's a garden centre. What is odd about that is there's a manure bunker and there's a slurry pit thing there, and I thought it might be a buy point for manure and slurry, and it's not. And I just think, and this is just a personal opinion, they kind of missed a trick on that, because there are mods for that anyway, and we know that you can do it. It's possible to put them in, and I just thought that would have been a kind of nice feature to go to the garden centre, maybe if you wanted to buy and sell, or just buy manure and slurry. The fact they've got the two pits there, I just thought it might have been a kind of nice addition to put in, but it's not. I just thought I'd point it out because I don't know if anyone will drive around there and have a look and think, hang on a minute, can you buy here? Unfortunately not. You might be able to on PC, but you can't on console. So I'm going to see you down the bottom bit in a minute. We'll go over that little, I'll show you the little bridge bit, kind of bridge, humpback. You know, it just raises you off the boggy ground below, I think is the and it just kind of adds a bit of a feature to a flat-ish map, you know, bit of raised land here. So we're heading south now, kind of in the southwest part of the map, and we're down at Greynex. A lot of buildings and a lot of stuff going on here. This is a lot more detailed than I remember it being on the previous version. Now, there is a hazard marked area just there, and I can't work out from the map what it might be. So we've come out across that bit there. I've come down all the way to here. Now that says Greynex, and it doesn't show any other sell point or anything there, or buy point, but there is a hazard marked area, and I'm not quite sure. That might be a PC remnant, possibly. But Greynex sell point is just here. I do like all this, you know, the detail of this building. All the elevator stuff, and it's really cool. It's really nice. So what we're going to do now is head back up the map. We're on the western side of the map now, heading north. Head up towards the livestock market, and we're going to head up to a bit where I'll be honest, I'm a little bit disappointed, and that's just a personal thing. It's one of those things that on FS17 on console we did not have the ability to buy and sell milk, or transport milk is the best way of putting it. If you had cows and they produced milk at midnight, then you just got paid for the milk. That's how it worked. So in FS19 we got the ability to be able to actually transport your milk yourself to a milk sell point. Now this building here on the left hand side on FS17 was a dairy, and I remember doing the map tour on this and driving past. I don't know if I mentioned it on the video or I just thought it, how cool it would be to be able to transport your own milk and stuff to a dairy. You know, it was that kind of thing, you know, that console dream when we were on FS17. Wouldn't it be cool to be like the PC kids? And that's not here anymore. The building's there, and I thought, I was so convinced this would be a dairy and we'd be able to take our stuff there. It's not. It's kind of all closed off. Whether the dairy shut down or something, I don't know, but I was really disappointed. I know, and that's a personal thing. That's not, you know, that's no disrespect to the map maker or modder or anything like that. It's just that kind of thing. I distinctly remember saying it on FS17, or you know, and thinking how cool it would be to be able to take stuff to the dairy. And then I came on the map and thought, now we can do that. That's brilliant, and it's not available. So, bit of a weird one, but there you go. So I think the last of the points we're going to be looking at, because just over there is the garden centre, so we've pretty much gone all the way around everything now, is the livestock market and the barn sell point. So just pulling in on the left hand side here, we have got here in front of the building the barn sell point. There's not a lot going on there to show you or give you an inkling, other than the fact on the map it says barn, and here's your livestock market, buy, sell, load or unload point for your livestock. And I'm pretty sure now, I think looking at the map, we've gone from Grain X up the side to the animal dealer. Yeah, the garden centre's there, biogas is there. I think we've pretty much been around everything. There is a little house and estate just here with a little pond in the middle of it that you can have a bit of a search around and have a look about. There's no sell points or anything in there. I just thought, now as for space for putting placeables and stuff like that, there's not any kind of placeable areas. There's a big grass area behind the woodland here. So if you were going to, and I suppose around here, around field 12 there is, and it is fairly flat, so landscaping shouldn't be too much of an issue. But there you go. That's Green River 2019 by Bart, NLD Community. Hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. As always, thanks for watching.